Well, all I've got to say about today is just wow. Today was Black Friday, and I wasn't expecting much, and I truly wasn't expecting this. This stock just exploded over 20 points in 3 candles, and I caught it. And I'm going to break down exactly how I did it. I'm going to break down all the setups we took today on Beat, on KTTA, and then we'll save this one for last. I cannot believe this. SMX is insane in the week this way. I'm super stoked, but let's talk about it. So I hope you guys had an awesome Thanksgiving. Hopefully you ate some good food. Hopefully you came back energized, ready to take it off into today. Yeah, today was okay. I was expecting it to be kind of slow. Well, it actually was a very good day, but I mean apart from SMX, of course. Apart from that, it was quite slow, of course, as to be expected. But came out of the gate and we had a few things rocketing, like this KTTA here, which hey, I liked going into the open, but it showed its true colors after the bell, and I didn't love it a whole lot. So I think it's going initially out of the bell. And first I wanted to take it back here out of the open because we have this nice sort of range put in place where we pivot back over, reclaim VWAP. I want to take it here out of the open and get that squeeze back up into the 1/8. And almost took it at 150, and I almost took it. But knowing today was Black Friday, knowing there's probably going to be a lack of opportunity, I didn't take it. And so I sat back on this and I just let it go because after it started to get going, there was just no pullbacks on it. And so I just had to sit back and do nothing really. And so it halts up over the highs, over pre-market highs. And then out of the halt, this thing flushes all the way to like what 30 something. And at first, I didn't think it was actually real, but regardless, it's on the chart, so it's going to affect price action. And so this sort of is what ruined the setup. And so then it pops to the highs, knifes off the high, pulls back and puts in place this almost tweezer style setup here. I mean, look how tight this gets. And so first candle to make a new high, I nailed the entry there with a stop loss at the low. I get a nice little 10-cent move. I make it risk-free, and I try to get added back here for the breakup higher. I don't get the move higher. So overall, break even on this here. It couldn't really get much of a move going. So didn't really get much there. This was a great look, except for how these two candles sort of affected the rest of the move, which I think those two candles ruined price action, to be honest with you. Next I had Beat, and Beat was okay. Beat was on last night's watch list, and we had this majorly beat down setup on the daily time frame. A lot of range back to the upside to get that going, and going after market open. And so I take it here, as you can see, as it pulls back off of VWAP, it confirms, breaks back to the upside, gets tied off the 90 MA, and I nail it there, and I catch a nice little move up into the high of day. You can see I take it here from 88 cents all the way to about 93 cents. So again, about a 5-cent move. I'm pretty happy with that today. And then the price pulls back. I try to take it, the leg back up higher off the 90 MA. And then I take it again for, as you can see, it starts to get coiled here for the retest. And so I try to take it off the bottom of its range to see if we couldn't get this thing squeezing back up into the top of its channel. Unfortunately, we don't get that move off the 90 MA as it was pretty tight and it just didn't make the move. And so, again, pretty much break even on this as well because I have this big win here. Came back with a quarter size position on these and, chunk of that. So very small green. Barely green on KTTA. I'm barely green on Beat. Of course, I was taking about a half size, my typical risk on these. Then re-entry is about a quarter size, so I wouldn't go giving that all back. And so, it's able to bolster that a little bit, but I didn't get anything going. And this was, again, you see it makes the first move, it gives you one little move, and then it just chops around and fades. But then SMX comes along. Now, this one was quite interesting because in pre-market, I didn't like this at all. Now, this was on last night's watch list as well. And this starts to gap up this morning in pre-market, and a nice little move. Little 1-minute pullback, sets off the 90 MA and gets squeezing higher. That was a nice move. But then it knifes off the high, extremely aggressive, from 40 all the way to about 30-something bucks. And so I'm like, all right, that's pretty gross. Then it comes out of market open, tries to break out over this opening, again, this pre-market high, and it halts down. Again, it just fakes you out and halts down. And so again, we have this major knife. We have this major halt down, which means we have so many trapped here. But what is happening is you've got to think. After this happened in pre-market, there are so many shorts piled in this range, looking for this thing to get faded because it was already up, what, 500% from Wednesday? So this thing fakes that off the high. People are thinking that's the top. The top is in. Then it halts down. People are like, oh my God, the top is really in. So you're starting to average down or starting to, I guess in this case, average up into their short position, trying to, get some more exposure. And so then what happens here is, they get squeezed. This over the pre-market high. Look at this. This thing breaks over the pre-market high, and everybody that was back here, they break over this high. Oh my God, they have to start covering. They start buying, and the squeeze just gets going. This is classic short squeeze setup. So many shorts piled in here. Once this thing got going over that pre-market high and they start having to cover, it's game over. On a stock like this with a sub 1 million share float, it's done. It's over for them, And so it's a massive move here. And so it's really tight. Look at this here where we have this reclaim of VWAP. It pulls back and puts in place this awesome range. You could not have asked for a better setup here because look, what happens before the breakout is more important than the breakout itself. And so we have this nice tight range. We've got the 90 MA right here beneath that breakout level. We've got this really nice area of consolidation beneath the breakout, which gives us a nice range of volume here. Now we want all this volume through here because what? This gives us a volume shelf for this breakout to sort of work off of. And so as it gets breaking out, we have the confluence of the pre-market high. We have the confluence right there off the 90 MA. We have the confluence of this high breakout as well, which is right there in line with the pre-market high. So this thing just looks amazing. You know, this looks, of course, clear sky set up on the daily time frame with room to $70, as we had on the watch list last night. So I take it off the 1 minute pullback there at 42.90. It brips higher to the next halt. I get my stop loss raised, and I'm just trailing it into the next candle, until I'm eventually stopped out for my profit after catching a more than 20-point move. This thing ran, look at this, from $42 all the way to $60. I couldn't believe it. So this is just one of those examples where you have to show up every day. You just never know. You never know. It just takes that one setup, that one trade to turn your week around, to turn your day around. You know, with the holidays, this was a really slow week, but this right here just completely changed that. So I can't believe it. I'm extremely happy to end the week this way. You know, today could have been a break-even day, and I wouldn't have really thought anything of it because, hey, it's Black Friday. I was expecting it to be slow, but this completely changed that. So that's the daily recap. Really, that's all I traded today. There wasn't a whole lot moving, so I stayed picky and played what was moving, played what was most obvious, and was able to do just that, make it happen, and so that's how I did it. If you did learn something, make sure to subscribe for daily content just like this as we continue to navigate through this crazy winter market. Things are finally heating back up, so we should all be extremely excited for what's to come through the rest of this year. I'm telling you, December could be extremely hot, and that should be exciting. And of course, as always, make sure to claim your 7-day free trial to watch me trade stocks just like these in real time every single day and get alerts, watch lists, chat room, scanners, news, journals, and so much more. If you are traveling for the holidays, please have a safe drive back home. Next week's going to be fun. So let's get to it.